Yo, what's up guys, Battleswing Sam here, welcome back to another video. Today's video is on a comparison between the Sirius V2 model and the Sirius V3 model, both made by LDY. This is the newest, of course, and this is one I received quite a while ago. So we're going to go over the changes of what happened between this model and that model, both on, just how it looks and also how it flips. So if you are excited for this video, please do leave a like. Yeah, let's get right into it. So first of all, going over the most obvious, as you can see, the handle pattern is still the same. The only difference you can tell from just looking at this is that the Zen pins on the V3 are now press fit and have no more screw, and the V2 have screws on each side. And as you can see, this one is press fit. The Zen nipple itself is still the same. The V2 is a bit dirty, but it is the same. So as you can see, it is a little bit smoothened out over here on the sides, but relatively the same. Now going over to the sides, here we have the pattern, and I do notice that when flipping, the handle on the pattern on the V3 is actually a little bit deeper than the one on the V2. Not much, but definitely a little bit noticeable if you are used to flipping the V2. The jimping on the edge of the handles right here and right there, still the same. Not much has changed over there. Yeah, still equally deep. Yeah, so let's open up the blade right there and there. So the blades itself, very similar still. You can see that the finish on the blades is a little bit different. If I go really close to it, you can see this one has more of like a stone, well, not really a stone wash. You can kind of see that's like an acid wash type finish, while this one is more satin, as you can see with the lines going that way. But yeah, not much difference. The blade is just the same, style, same shape, same length. Now, what has changed, between this one and the V3? Now, first biggest one is the sound. Just listen to this, right? This is a V2 with oil. And this is a V3 with oil. So the V3 obviously sounds a lot better, in my opinion. It sounds a bit more, channely. It has a bit more of that wind chiming, I guess you could call it. Now, also when doing like reverse chaplains, this is a pretty quiet boy. Let me just, pretty quiet. While the V3 is like really glassy, is how we call it in the community. It sounds like it's made from glass or whatever. Now going over the two live blades as well in terms of sharpness, these two are very sharp, equally sharp, and I feel like the V3 is even sharper than the V2, and the V2 has caught me with a deep cut before already. Like, this thing is already a razor, and I feel like this one is like even sharper. It's actually pretty crazy. Going over another thing like handle gap, as you can see, I can squeeze this one where it is like about, I would say, my pinky in there in terms of handle gap, and this one, I squeeze it about the same, but there's a bit more handle gap. It fits in a bit easier in there. So the press fit Zen pins now do offer a bit better sound and more handle gap as well, and tire tolerances. So yeah. Now both the V2 and the V3 came with the cleaning cloth, the card, some band-aids, some spare hardware, and a trainer blade in a pouch, right? Alright, so now let's say that you want to buy a Sirius and you're not sure whether you want a V3 or a V2, right? Which one should you buy? Now the thing is, it's common sense that the higher the version, the better, obviously. Because the V3 is basically just an improved version of the V2, based on feedback from the community, based on, performance over time. And so yeah, the V3, I think, is definitely going to be the better option if you are doubting between a V2 or V3. Now the V2 costs $230, and I'm pretty sure that's $230 shipped. Could be that it's $230 plus shipping, but I'm pretty sure it was 230 shipped, right? Now this one, in this particular finish, is I'm pretty sure 240 plus shipping, or shipping included. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the V3 comes often, not in this, but in different finishes, like anodized colors. You have like red, you have other colors as well. And those other colors which drop more than this one, or, you know, the one, do cost more. They are like 270-ish, if I'm not mistaken. So technically, this one is a bit more expensive than the V2. Now, both flip, I would say, near equal, all right? Nothing much on the performance has changed, apart from obviously the Zen pins, right? You have a bit more handle gap, a bit more tight tolerances, but as we all know, with LDY's models, there's always been super tight tolerances with any of his models, like with the Orion, Cygnus, the Sirius. Any of his models have super tight tolerances, so if you are looking for something like that, then even a V2 will satisfy you, because the V2 is still a beast. Not because there's now a V3 out means that, you know, the V2 is outdated and it's bad. It's definitely not a bad flipper at all. This thing only came out a few months ago, and it's still, you know, top tier stuff. And everyone I talk to who tried a V2 is like loving it, you know? So yeah, either V2 or V3 are amazing. The thing is, if you want to buy a Sirius, you're probably going to find V2s on the secondary market for a cheaper price with people reselling it. So you'll be more likely to come buy one and also have it for a cheaper price, while the V3s are oftentimes not sold on secondary but sold through LDY's drops, but these sell out pretty quick and of course more expensive. So yeah, it's a bit just, it basically just comes down to whatever you're willing to spend on it, and whether you want something that is brand new, used, or, you know, slightly abused on the secondary market. So if I were to give my opinion, if you want the best possible flipping performance, get a V3, all right? Try your luck on the drops, make sure you get one before it's sold out, and you'll definitely enjoy it, right? Now, if you are a bit more tight on budget, but you really want to get a Sirius, a V2 will definitely do the job as well, because these things are near comparable, but the V2 is just more accessible, I guess, now in the current market. And the V3 will be sold on secondary market as well, but just not as much as the V2 yet, because it's just brand new and people are still trying it out. And there aren't as many in the current market available right now. So yeah, a V2 is, I guess, a little downgrade from the V3, but not much, but it's just way more accessible. So yeah, that was pretty much all I have to say about the V2 and the V3. Both are amazing flippers. They do the job perfectly. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on Instagram or leave it in the comments here for any of the models, whether about the Sirius V2 or V3, the Orion or the Cygnus, or even the Kraken and the Oni or Pony. If you have any questions, feel free to DM, as I said, comment. I will gladly help you out. And yeah, I want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the very, very next one.